And President Donald Trump is fulfilling a campaign promise that could drastically change the federal government's role in the American education system. That promise would put the U.S. Department of Education on the chopping block and move some of the agency's educational responsibilities to the states. CTV's Katara Jones is standing by with everything you need to know.
The future of education in the United States could radically change if President Trump gets his way. The president signed an executive order yesterday that calls for the elimination of the U.S. Department of Education. Now, if Trump is successful, how will his action impact education here in Prince George's? CTV News chatted with Teresa Mitchell-Dudley, a current county teacher and a member of the Prince George's County Educators Association.
Personally, I had a hard time sleeping the night before last when I heard on the news that was going to happen yesterday.
With a signing of an executive order, the president's plan to dismantle the U.S. Department of Education is well underway. However, this can't happen without congressional approval. The Trump administration says it plans to preserve Title I funding, which is federal money that goes to low-income schools. Despite this, Mitchell-Dudley says she's still concerned about the potential changes to Title I funding for the county school system. Here in Prince George's, the county school district has more than 100 Title I schools.
George's County relies very heavily on Title I funding. And those Title I funding, that Title I funding is important because we have so many schools that receive it. And there is a correlation between the blueprint for Maryland's future and Title I funding. Title I funding being taken away or cut, that means that we will have less teachers because we have some teachers who are funded through Title I that do additional support in the building. They do pullouts, they are reading recovery teachers or other influences in the building.
Mitchell-Dudley says she's also worried about the impact of Trump's plan could potentially have on the county's special education students, English language learners, and the educators that support them. Now, it's important to note that the Trump administration plans to also protect funding for students with disabilities. She is also concerned that Trump's action could lead to resegregation of schools across the United States. CTV News will continue to keep you updated on how Trump's order will impact you and your family. Back to you, Mariah, at the anchor desk.
Thanks, Katara. So far, the U.S. Department of Education has laid off about 1,300 employees.